Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the Platinum Achievement Podcast, where each week we invite you to join a group of fun-loving gamers from around the world for the most action-packed podcast of all time. Welcome to the party! What's up, everybody? This is Antonio coming to you live from Chicago, your co-host with the most. So raise your glass for a toast because I am joined by my fellow co-hosts. I'm going to introduce them all at once. We have Brian Spignoli, Matt Keel, we have Chris Haar, and we have Imran Lord Haji. Thank you very much for being here. We want to say thank you to all of our listeners. Our viewership continues to grow. Episode 1 on the first week got 239 views. Episode 2 at the time of this recording is 2 days old, and we got 105 views on that, and we got lots of subscriptions, so thank you. Please share the podcast with your friends, anybody that you know that's interested in gaming. We are really making this podcast for you, and again, you can email us with show topics at podcastpa.email@gmail.com. So we're on a roll, people. Episode 3, I'm incredibly excited. We got a lot of great things happening. Again, we are going to be working on getting on iTunes for the audio-only version, but if you want to listen to an audio-only version now, you can go to pixelpine.com. That's the gaming website that Brian Spignoli runs and writes for, and you can go ahead and listen to the audio version there. That's pixelpine.com. Brian, let me just say that I'm incredibly impressed by your site. I love seeing your writing about all things gaming, and thank you very much for putting the podcast on there, sir.
Yeah, very welcome. It's made it as easy as possible, too. pixelpine.com/podcast, and then you'll have a list of everything, every podcast we ever do, and a little synopsis of it right there with it.
Very good. Thank you so much for that, Brian. Again, YouTube or pixelpine.com, people. Really appreciate each and every one of you. All right, everybody, we are excited. We are doing an interview with one of the top trophy earners in the world. We're so excited to talk to Mike Simmons. Mike Simmons is PSN name RoughDawg4. That's Rough, DAWG4. You can also follow him at Twitter at RoughDawg4. And we're bringing Mike on because the Platinum Achievement Podcast, we get our name from some of the completionists that we have in our Facebook group. Some of us kind of like to earn those trophies, earn those achievements. So we were doing a search one day saying, you know what, it would be awesome if we got one of the top trophy earners, one of the top achievement earners on the show. And it just so happened that Mike is an amazing guy, and he agreed to be on the show. So Mike, why don't you say hello to the pod people?
Hello, pod people.
Now, Mike, I'm going to let you talk about yourself a little bit, but let's kind of gush about you a little bit. We're going to talk about how many trophies you've actually earned. He's actually on the top of these aggregate sites, and a lot of them actually do compensate for, trying to rule out just cheating and straight up things. So it's legit, and he's going to talk about how he does it, why he does it, all this stuff. So we're so excited to have him. It's super interesting. Brian has interview skills, so why don't we have Brian take it away. Mike, if you just want to start with your name, hometown, where you're from.
Yeah, currently my name is Michael Simmons. I live in New Hampshire, and I'm married. I'm an accounting manager at a bank. I've been doing it for about 9 years now. I'm trying to think. I grew up in Florida. That's where I was born and raised, and I moved up here when I was about 17, 18, and I've stayed ever since.
You are one of the top trophy collectors in the world, and you only play on PlayStation, correct?
That's correct. I only play PlayStation.
And talk about, you started from PlayStation 1 on and then continued throughout, and have you ever played any other consoles or anything like that, Nintendo, Xbox?
The only other, I've only played Nintendo, and I played Nintendo and Super Nintendo, but as soon as Sony PlayStation came out, I stuck with Sony only. I know a lot of people usually get different systems, but for some reason I get one at a time and kind of just stick with it.
Are you like a total fanboy of PlayStation?
Yeah, I'm not a fanboy of PlayStation, but I'm a huge role-playing game junkie. And when Sony PlayStation was first introduced, Squaresoft left Nintendo to go to Sony, so I went where all the good RPGs went.
So you've played Final Fantasy VII?
Oh yeah, Final Fantasy. That was It's like one of my favorite games.
Amen, brother. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Remake.
How many games have you platinum?
Yeah, as of right now, I'm ranked second in the world, first in the United States, and I currently have 852 platinums.
Because everyone can like step back for a second and just understand 852 platinum. That's completing the entire game with all of the trophies.
Yes, that's good.
That's just mind blowing to me.
How many total? How many total trophies then?
Yeah, I have 40,285 trophies. I've played 1,202 games, and only about 27 of them are not 100%.
Oh,
wow. That's just absolutely absurd that you're able to manage that. You talk about like your strategy or how you set that up. Do you like have how much time do you dedicate each week to
I probably end up playing about 3 or 4 hours a day. I used to play a lot more in the beginning, but after you get married and you get more serious with the job, you notice that everything starts to scale back a little bit. But I usually could put in a few hours in the morning and a few hours at night. I try to, but the good thing is that everyone always thinks that I do so much during the week, and I think it's just because I'm efficient with my time. Due to my job being an accounting manager, I'm just problem solving all day, so I try to problem solve games too as well, and try to think of the most efficient way I could try to do something. So,
yeah.
So you said you had mentioned you were like kind of planning out what you're gonna do before you even start the game, then, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those OCD things I have. I just have to try to know what exactly is my plan before the game. So I'll even just get a notepad out sometimes and just kind of try to jot out what I want to do and where I want to get it. So it gives me a good roadmap of how I want to attack a game.
Talk to us about your website and your other like grand strategy, because a lot of us were kind of like, nobody can buy. How many games did you say?
1,202. Yeah.
So tell us about that.
So currently I'm the owner of the website PS3Imports.org. And for most of the public, for what they could see, we have one of the best trophy guides out for the Japanese visual novels. But behind the scenes that people can't see, it's a trading site, and we have the top trophy hunters in all over the world, and we all trade games to each other. So it really helps save us a lot of money, which is what I think gamers all really respect. Is we all just want to save money and play as many games as possible.
And that website again is ps3imports.org. ps3imports.org. And so you're basically enabling the top trophy earners on PlayStation with this site.
Yes, that's correct. Once we get one of the top trophy hunters to come on, they never leave. People always they always ask me because they try to run websites and they're like, yeah, none of your members ever leave. Well, of course they don't. Games always come out, so people always want to stay. So it's really cool. Right now, out of the top 13 in the world, we have seven of the top trophy hunters in the world in the top 13. So it's pretty cool.
And how many people do you have as part of your site?
I think for active users, we probably have between 50 and 100.
Nice.
So we try to stay as tight as possible since we are trading games that could be very high in value. So we try to maintain privacy as best we can.
I know we're all going to join your secret club soon now.
Yes, you are.
we are infiltrating the Illuminati of the gaming world right now, people. I don't know if you've realized this, but that's amazing.
It's just like a secret system. It's like, this is how it all happens.
Yeah, after all of this, we'll have to erase everybody's memories. So,
can you talk about any of the games that you think were probably the most difficult? Like, because these games, they have achievements and trophies that I feel like I could try them, but it would take me literally days and days to actually finish them. Is there any specific games or specific achievements that you've just looked at and said, this game is just almost too hard?
Yeah, there's a few games that I've played that I just have to walk away from because you just start to realize that I guess I'm just not that good to be able to complete. I was playing Capcom Arcade Cabinet, and it has some of the toughest games that I have ever played. It's a shame that game doesn't have a platinum, but there's two games in there, Commando and Gunsmoke, and those games are really hard. So they are very hard to complete, and I still haven't been able to finish that as of today.
Oh, that's pretty crazy. When did that come out? Do you know?
I think that came out about 3 or 4 years ago. I think only about 40 or 50 people in the world have gotten actually 100% on it. So
Whoa. So, with all the games that you haven't completed, is that the main reason? Is because they were just because you did mention there were a few that you haven't. That's why you're at 99% completion. Is that why?
yeah, I think there's like 27 games, 26, 27 games I haven't completed. I'd say about half of them are just stuff that within like the first 3 or 4 months, like I earned a trophy or two on, and I just never went back. It just some of the games just didn't really. I just really didn't even care to play, so I just never really felt like it. But I think
27 out of 1,200.
yeah, well, unfortunately, I think there's like 5 or 6 games I have on my profile that's impossible to get 100% to as well. Unfortunately, I got that bad bug in Burn Zombie Burn, where they never released the DLC, so that was impossible. I got nailed on my profile, and 2 trophies are impossible to get. Just it's nice to get burned, and actually, I played Rambo just a little while ago, and the DLC got loaded on the account 6 months ago, and it's still not released. So I have a bad feeling that's going to add to my incomplete list. So
So there are games out there that are so bad and uninteresting that even a completionist like you would not go and play it.
oh no, and that's why it's kind of good that I have those impossible trophies, so I don't have a 100% profile that I need.
You don't feel totally pressured.
Yeah, so when something's just that bad, you're like, yeah, I'm all set. I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah, I have a question about online trophies because some of them are insane. Not insane, but let's say Dying Light, I platinum that trophy. I have to find 4 people to play co-op for 5 quests. On your website, you have forums for that.
Yeah, we actually have a forum dedicated just to boosting. And that's what's great with being so many people that are... Because we only have, like I said, around 50, maybe like 60 active users. But they're all so very high up on the leaderboard. So whenever you post games, they want to play it too. I mean, I don't even remember the last time that I boosted with somebody that was not a part of my website. I mean, we just did, I think... I don't know when I played it on my profile. I want to say it was like 4 or 5 months ago, but we played Crisis 3, and we were able to put together a boost of, I want to say like 12 or 14 people, and we were able to get most of that stuff done, so it was pretty cool.
So you got that support system for the games that you have to rely on others for, so it's not just randoms, right?
Yeah, and every once in a while you get randoms, but I try my best to exclude it. Unfortunately, I have to block about everything on my profile, because every time I open it up, I get a ton of messages, and it usually crashes my system.
Really?
Yeah, the last time I had open privacy, I had it open for 2 hours, and I received 950 private messages. So, yeah, it was pretty bad.
Oh man.
What do you think about online trophies in general? Because some of them, if the game gets really old and the server shut down, and that's it, you cannot have the trophy anymore, or you can't find people. So.
Yeah, that part of it always sucks. It's really hard because I really enjoy online trophies to the point where you get to play with other people, so it makes your experience more enjoyable. But then again, on the flip side, like you just said, then you get the bad part of it where sometimes servers shut down, and sometimes they shut down early, so then you're stuck with a game you can't even finish, and there's really nothing more frustrating than that.
With some of these difficulties, they want to make them challenging, but are there just some like sadists out there? These devs are just like putting something out there that is too extreme. What's the most extreme like trophy that you put out there, whether you completed it or not?
Oh, that's a good question. God, I'm drawing a blank right now, but man, I remember at my friends a bunch of times about, and that's usually like the number one thing. Like, I cannot believe they're making this a requirement. It's just, I think I remember playing Master Reboot, and you had to play the whole game in a different language. That was a trophy. Like, I think you had to play it. Yeah, you actually had to play it in like Swedish or something like that. Or it was ridiculous. It was the most absurd thing I have ever heard that you actually had to play this. And you know what the hard part is that I just can't imagine some of these trophies too, because it takes away from the enjoyment you have for the game. And it's like I wouldn't want people to, not being able to enjoy it. Like that Resident Evil game, I just got the platinum to Resident Evil, and you had to beat the whole game using a knife only. That was really fun.
The original? Was it Resident Evil the original?
It was the original game, so you had to beat that with a knife only, including the final boss.
That's possible? I didn't even think that was possible.
Yes, that is possible, because I have gotten it, and let me tell you, it's not fun.
How many attempts did you have to, like, how many deaths in that game before you...
I think I probably died about 30 to 40 times, and I was even playing on an easy setting.
You can do it on easy, okay.
Yeah, you can do it on easy, so it's not as bad. Oh, and then there's another fun one where you have to beat it where all the enemies are invisible. Yeah, that was a fun one, too. Oh, yeah, you have to beat the game, and the enemies are all invisible. It's like they really thought. I'm surprised that they didn't have a way that you only had to play with one hand. If they could figure that out, they probably would have done it.
You close your eyes, hands tied behind your back.
It's like, hey, gamer, just pick off.
Yeah.
Because there are on some unfair trophies. For example, when I platinumed the Mortal Kombat, there's this one really annoying trophy that I have to win 10 strikes of ranked match. I was like, unless I'm a pro at this, I can't do this. Yeah, they are so good. The players who play in ranked, they are so good. Unless you master that game, it's close to impossible.
That's one of the games I avoid is fighting games. I am just really bad at fighting games. You know, it's same as you. I mean, you play these people that are just amazing at it, and they kick your ass. So.
Yeah, these people for fighting games especially. I know. You look at like some of the leaderboards or something, and you see these people dedicate like their entire life to being amazing at these games.
And that's why you have like no contest against the same thing. The same thing as like Call of Duty too. You know, some of these people that play these games are just absolutely amazing.
So you do play shooters then? You'll stay away from fighters, but you'll play shooters. Are there platinums in shooters? I'm not even sure. I know, like you just mentioned one, Chris.
Yeah, Call of Duty, Medal of Honor. Those are pretty good. SOCOM. Yeah, I've played those. Shooters are a lot of fun. So.
Do you have the Catherine Trophy Platinum?
Yes, I do.
Oh my god!
Tell us about it. Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
That's ridiculous.
Oh my god! Yeah, that.
You guys sound like little kids talking to your hero.
I'm trying to think. What was it? That Tower of Babel? That's,
no! Oh my gosh, that game is. Just
the arcade game.
That game the one with
so
the blocks. Hard.
And it's so weird as well, but yeah. What a good
game, it really is. It's a great game. It really is. But some of the trophies in there are just really, really challenging. So,
so
I think from what I remember, I think it actually helps if you have someone else to play with. Like I think that's what really I think makes it a little bit easier.
So Mike, touching on that, how do you feel when a game is released with that really easy trophies, like The Order, for instance? Do you feel a sense of relief, or do you feel like it detracts from the trophy hunting sort of?
Yeah, it's kind of mixed because part of me likes to enjoy a challenge, but the other flip side of it is like what you said with The Order, is that sometimes you could just play a game and just enjoy it when you don't have to worry about trophies either. So it goes back and forth. So I mean, sometimes I notice that I don't get to enjoy a game fully because you're playing it a certain way. So
Mike, you don't have any problems with taking advantage of glitches or workarounds. I think you told us off the air that you kind of like use every resource imaginable, like you mentioned, like YouTube, and that being something that helps.
Oh, of course, I will use any glitch that's out there in a game. The way I see it is glitches go good and bad. I mean, I've played tons of games where, and I'm sure you guys have too, where you were supposed to get something and you didn't, and then you try to figure out how different variances that you could do to somehow get that trophy. So out of all the hours I have to spend getting bad trophies, I feel like I should be rewarded, every once in a while with good glitches too as well. So, and that's the thing though too, is that with everything out there that's available, it's amazing, when you go to YouTube, the amount of information that you can get about any game. So especially when they're really popular.
How many bad games you play just for trophies?
Talk to us about Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana, yes.
Game of the year, right?
Hannah Montana and Corey in the House.
Yeah, that's
two favorite games.
You're a trophy hunter when you play Hannah Montana. I mean, there's really not too much you could say about that. It's I know when I was playing it, there was a trophy hunting competition going on at the time, and you try to play as many quick games as you can. So I was like, I'm gonna play that game, and I tried my best to not let my wife catch me playing that game, so I tried to avoid that. And one time she came home early, so I had to run over to the PS3 and turn it off, and it's really awkward. She's kind of looking at me like, yeah, I'm not even going to ask what that was about. So I was like, good. I don't want you to ask any questions.
Let me ask you about like work-life game balance. Notice how like you have like a third tier in there. Your wife lets you play. You said that you play 2 to 3 hours a day. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd say 4 to 5. Like it's
A day?
something like that. Yeah.
How much?
that
Wait,
crazy.
Chris, you'll love this question. How much do you sleep?
6 hours.
Wow.
Well, that's adequate.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
more than
Chris
adequate.
sleeps.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what it is my wife, she literally sleeps. I mean, I swear to God, she like 12 or 14 hours. So it's funny, but I actually so I actually don't play video games with when my wife is up. Like we'll just watch TV.
I knew
we'll
it.
do
You are the
things.
same
I
as
knew
me.
it.
That's
I
exactly-
knew it.
You know,
that's
I
the
really,
only way
you know,
to do it.
so she goes to bed around 8 o'clock at night, so I'll be playing games like, say, 8 o'clock at night to midnight or something like that, and I usually get up an hour early for work, so I usually can put in an hour or two in the morning, too, as well, so
So
it's
she-
really the only times I play.
She
so.
has a sleeping
Genius.
deficiency, and you milk it.
Yes, it's 100%, so hey, as long, I'm going to be able to keep this up as long as we don't have kids. If we ever have kids, I am sure that narrative's going to change really
You
fast.
need to start the next generation of achievement or trophy hunting and
yeah.
teach your children these are the ways.
Yeah, co-op partner for life.
Yeah.
That's
Mike,
amazing.
Mike, do you play Vita as well?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, 'cause I was gonna say, because obviously with the trophy.
Yeah, well, it's funny because a lot of people have said too that I work a 9 to 5 job, standard hours, 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock at night, and people will be like, "Yeah, I see you earning Vita platinums, during your work," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, it's because I'm playing it at work. I'm in an office, so I'm able
That's
to."
amazing.
You play games at work. Nice.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah,
my
yeah.
official hero. God, we should create a plaque for you and like put it up everywhere on the wall. This is
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far because I'd prefer them not knowing like what it is that I'm doing.
Oh, never mind.
Well, a lot of the games that I'm playing though too is that it's those visual novel games where you just have to pick choices and stuff like that. So something that I just have to make sure I'm private with it. But being in an office, it's really easy to do. And I mean, I have little contact with most people. That's the normal day, so it's really easy to do that.
Yeah, so we finished Walking Dead 3 times.
Oh yeah. That's it was cool the second time.
Wait,
because then you get
spoiler
to do
alert! I
thing-
didn't finish it.
Okay, well, no, it's just cool the second time you play it because you could pick choices, a different way, so you can kind of have, idea. But once you play it the third time, you're like, yeah, I really don't want to play this anymore.
Did you play it all at one shot, or is it like one and then a couple weeks later you played it again or something?
Yeah, mine were spread apart. I know others that did it back to back, and honestly, I really don't even know how they did that. I mean, I would have, I would have probably slit my wrist trying to think about.
Were you
something
annoyed
like
that season 2 didn't have a platinum? Is that annoying?
I don't think it did.
I was like, what's going
But
on?
were you
there?
annoyed about that?
Oh, it was a little annoying after they did it with the first one, but I mean, I'm fine with it. It stinks when things don't have platinums because then you feel like you're spending the same amount of time and not getting the same amount of points. So,
Are there any games that you've 100%ed that you think should have a platinum?
yes.
Because I can think of like 3 right off the bat.
Well, Capcom Arcade Cabinet that I brought up, that's like one of the hardest games I've ever played. That's a shame that doesn't have a platinum. Just so people, like only 30 or 40 people in the world have beaten that game 100%. That should have a platinum. Why? What were the ones that you...
Spelunky. I think that game deserves a platinum because some of those trophies are really, really hard to get. The other one is Pixel Junk Eden. I think
yeah, I played that one.
Pixel Junk Eden. It's a fantastic game. One of my favorite PSN games. And then I actually think, I could probably name a couple others. I think Shatter deserves a platinum.
I just I started that game 5 or 6 years ago, and I think 6 months ago I finally beat that boss rush trophy. Like holy crap, I know that's a really hard one.
That one has been the bane of my existence. I can't do it.
Yeah, Stealth was one that I played that I felt like should have a platinum. That was a very hard one. Stealth was a good one.
And then I actually thought the original Super Stardust HD should have had a platinum with the way you had to... I think there was a gold trophy for going through the entire game and getting... I think you had to go through it twice. I don't remember. It's been so long since I 100%ed that game, but it deserves a platinum.
So I think I have the record for Super Stardust HD, the record for the longest time to 100% it. I am currently at 6... I just finished it 2 months ago. I got that... I think it was the one you had to hit the 10 nukes.
Yep.
Or something like that. And that was I could not get that trophy, and I just got it, and my completion time is 6 years and 6 months to 100% that game. So it was nice. That was a really ecstatic feeling to take, to kind of like go back to it, and it's like, you know what, I'm gonna finish this game, and to finally finish it. Like, that's but yeah, I remember, I think there's like 45 seconds for to not take any damage, but you couldn't shoot. It was just, there was a lot of dumb ones that were in there. So
well, I feel good because it took me way less than 6 years. So
yeah, I think everybody's got me beat on that one.
Have you done, I mean, there's some like major gaming sites in there. I was actually researching for the interview a little bit, and you had done an interview with N4G.com and Gadgety News not too long ago, probably like a few years. Do you do a lot of like interviews? Like, to me, you're famous. I'm just going to come out and say it. To me, you're like a role model of how to play games when your wife's asleep and all that. I'm blown away.
You're going to tell your children this
Seriously.
is what you need to look up to.
I'm going to play this for my kids when they are of age. It'll be like a ceremony. So you talked about strategy, how many hours you're dedicating, all this stuff. So like, do you consider yourself like famous? I mean, you're second in the world. Like, do you get, what kind of recognition do you get on a day-to-day basis? I know you got like however many private messages that one time. Like, tell us about stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I am, but for the longest time, there was always like 3 top trophy hunters in the world, and it was me, Hakum, and then Duck360.
Who did you kill?
And yeah, I know Duck just disappeared off the face of the planet, but
that's sad.
But they were always out there on social media and doing things, but I never really looked for it. I never really cared for the recognition. I just cared to play games, so I never really, you know what I mean? The attention just never really came to me. I did that interview with that for the Gadgety News, and I actually know the person too, so that's the only reason I did it. And I think that was like 3 years ago. I mean, I know it wasn't. That had to be a long time ago when I did it. That's what I was saying. I don't even remember the last time I've done an interview. I try not to cause too much attention to myself. I just like being by myself and keeping to myself. I just
playing
feel
video
like,
games.
Well, yeah, when you put yourself out there, then you're always going to get the jerks that are always going to come in and have a comment to say, and they'll always they'll always surprise you with the things they'll say too. So every and that's what it is. Like, some of those 750 messages, you hear some good ones that are in there too. Like, why don't you get out of your mom's basement or something like that, or grandma's basement? Oh, yeah, but it's always got to crack you up when you see those too. It's like,
the first interview we did last show, like, my sister was talking about games, and that's exactly what she said. I was like, why is gaming not popular or whatever? And she's like, with women, she's like, it's all boys in their mama's basements and attics.
Yes, that was great.
Signing off.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, I make a really good salary at a really good job, and I'm married, so
eat
it's,
it.
yeah. So it's like,
I feel like people forget that video games is, I believe, $100 billion industry.
Yeah,
and it's massive. Like, it's not like this little thing anymore, and everyone plays video games. Now, this is a little bit of a side point, but I do think it's weird if you ever hear someone say that they aren't like totally upfront that they're playing video games, because almost everyone, especially in America or I'm sure any Western country, will tell you, they play video games.
It's popular.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's more popular than people, probably realize. We talked last episode about how the media gets into it when there's the big releases, and they when the sales numbers kind of rival blockbuster like movies premieres and things like that. So they get their attention. They're in Times Square. They're doing interviews on the major like outlets, and it's big. We have a segment called Talking Games with Non-Gamers. Mike, a lot of people that are on the Facebook group and a lot of things that we talk about people who are not ashamed, but they just kind of shy away a little bit about admitting how much they play games or how much they're into it, because you can't really like bring it up to everybody. A lot of times you are shunned by that, like you're in your mama's basement type thing. So that's just for kids. Matt, you said it best not too long ago in one of the Facebook threads. You were saying like, you should just be open about it, etc. What do you think about talking games with non-gamers, Mike? Like, how does that work in your life? Because again, on the gamer side, to me, you're respected. You're at the top of the game. We get how much it actually takes from you, the dedication, the time.
Do you ever tell anyone, hey, I'm kind of internet famous?
no. No,
No?
one in my real life, and a lot of it is because of my wife. My wife doesn't care for video games,
Whoa.
so literally, like it's I don't even really say much even in front of her. So I don't even think she knows like to the degree of what I'm even at. So
Oh, this is
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So she doesn't know. So it's funny that you were mentioning like where people are try to hide themselves, which I mean, I guess with me not getting out there, like the other people do, so that's probably what I'm doing too as well. But yes, I'm even doing it in my own household. So she knows that it's a decent amount, obviously, but I don't think she has any idea that where I'm at though too.
So she hasn't caught on that you're gaming all this time while she's asleep?
No. Like she has no idea. Like, well, I mean, she knows that I am, but she doesn't know.
We can't release this interview now.
Yeah, she has no idea of the degree. You know what I mean? That is too. So
This is the most interesting interview of all time.
Well, see, I just like the fact that you said you plan your attack on games. Clearly, you have found a way to game the system that is your wife's sleeping habits. You're like, okay, she's going to sleep. Time to trophy.
You get like an
here we go.
adrenaline rush as soon as you see her go to bed.
Go to
yeah.
sleep,
Well, it's
go to
it's
sleep. Like you're giving her warm milk. Have you ever spiked her liquids to like? go to
no,
sleep?
but it's funny though because like sometimes like it's always like around that set time like 8:15. So it's like if she stays up later, it'd be like, you're killing me. Like, you're killing me.
Aren't you tired? You look tired.
Yeah, it's like, come on, Mike's got to get to work.
You've had a long
So
day.
did you choose your wife based on a sleeping habit? Is that what happened?
No,
Yes,
it was just
no.
a friendly, but I'll tell you what though, it's a friendly benefit that it works out that way because let
it's
me tell you,
amazing.
I can't imagine like, I mean, it's, I mean, you
that's
think
tough.
about it too, it's like, you could be with anybody, it's like, yeah, but it's like, what are your sleeping habits, It's
That's absolute class. That's wicked. That's good.
Are you a night person or a morning person?
Yeah,
You go to
yeah.
bed early?
yeah.
Mike, do you know the other top earners? And I know some of them are in your actual website, but the top guy right now, do you know him?
Hakum, yeah, he actually posts quite a few amount of trophy guides on the website. We didn't talk that much in the beginning, but I think over the last few years we've been in good contacts with each other. So we usually help each other with games. So and he's actually where I'm bad at fighting games, like he is very good at fighting games.
So here's what's blowing me away right now. You guys are at the top of the game, in gaming, and it's these completionists. You're doing so great, and you guys are like super humble and nice people. Like that's one of the biggest like myths that you're dispelling in my own mind. I mean, I thought that you'd be like in a dark basement, like eating nothing but Hot Pockets, like
Cheetos.
yeah, like basically like I guess that you lived off like a Twitch like fund, like streaming, like donations, but you're making it happen in real life and in gaming. It's incredibly impressive. I'm just continue
That's
to
a
be
good
blown
point,
away.
though. Have you ever considered using Twitch
Yeah,
and streaming
dude,
your games?
go make $1 million.
No, but you know what the thing is, and that's actually one criticism that I've gotten from my wife is that she feels that, because she knows that, like I said, she doesn't know like where I'm at, but she knows that I do play a lot, and she's always said that I should do more of that. But the thing is that my wife has a very good job, and I have a very good job, and we're able to afford just about anything that we want. So, I mean, it really doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, getting, like, outside... like, you know what I mean? Like, for Hakum, like, I know him, and I know he depends on, you know what I mean? Like, some of the stuff that he earns, but, for me... And I think that's why I'm so high, too, is that I have the money, so I feel like that gives me a lot more opportunities, too, as well, so...
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you own a Lambo?
No, I don't. I used
what are
to...
you driving?
Okay, so I used to... Before I was married, I had a 2006 Roush Mustang convertible. And it was, it was sweet because I didn't really want to look at Mustangs, but my friend convinced me to look at it. And it was just when they started making the Mustangs look like the older models, like back in the day. And man, that thing was sweet. I think it was like a $50,000 car, and it was so awesome.
Was
It's
it
amazing?
Was it original PlayStation gray like finish on it?
Oh man,
He
the
had
thing
the
was
symbols on the hubcaps.
Well, no, it's
Yeah.
funny. My license plate on it said at the time, "No wife." Like that's.
Oh my god!
Yeah. So yeah, I
She's
remember
like, get
when
rid of this thing
Well,
now.
no, so it was just when we just started going out, and I remember we were in the car, and my mom, we were going to see her, and she's like, "I can't believe you get in a car like that," and she's like, "I'm not going to marry your son, so it's fine."
There we go.
Yeah, but it's amazing how things work out when you're married because somehow I sold the car, we bought a house, and then she got a new car. Sometimes I'm still trying to figure out how exactly that worked out.
She pulled one on you.
Yeah, it's like you look back and you're
she's
like,
thinking when she's asleep about how to change you.
She's not really asleep.
Yeah, I'm playing
her
games and
Okay, if your wife was actually playing like video games handheld on a secret handheld, like in her bed, like the whole time that you're playing, like what if she's like one of the top like trophy earners on the Vita
Candy
or
Crush
something,
or
and you just
something.
don't? Yeah.
Oh,
What if
okay.
she is Hakum? Like what up?
oh, I'd be pretty scared if that was the case.
Yeah. What if she's gaming you even more than you're gaming her? It's like, oh yeah, my husband thinks I'm asleep, but I'm really like, who knows?
I'm better than
Yeah, I
him.
really hope
a
that's
drug
the case.
lord or something. You know?
But I'll tell you what, though, it's really nice that, some part of me is glad that she has nothing to do with it, because then it's time that that you just kind of get away and just not, talk about gaming whatsoever. So, I mean, that part of it is nice, because I can't imagine, like, if you had that 24/7, that I think anybody would get sick of that. I mean, that's...
Another reason why this podcast exists is I started talking to my fiance. I'm planning a wedding in September, and I started talking to her about
Congratulations.
games. Huh?
And congratulations.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. It's incredibly stressful. So it's
Yes,
like
it is.
It's true. Trust me.
Life over.
Yeah, life is getting kind of crazy. But I talked to her about games, and I talked to her about one of my first forays in the podcasting was at IGN. I was listening to the Beyond and Unlocked, and I started talking to him about what Colin and Greg were doing and all this stuff. And I kept trying to talk games with her, but I realized it's just not her thing, and it started to like not be fair. So I went on to Facebook and finally joined their the IGN groups, and then it kind of got invited to these the Platinum Achievement group, and it kind of grew from there. So I needed to connect with other gamers. Just recently, in the past like 2-3 months, is where I brought my hobby, which I could only talk to my brother and a couple cousins, just a few friends, but not like dedicated. And now I found all these people who are interested with me, at equal levels of passion, like people who are going to get up early on Saturdays and do a podcast. So it is kind of great that you're able to do that, and it's great that you found that like perfect balance. It seems like do you ever feel out of balance, or you got it down, you think? Then
No, I think I have it down now, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because especially with how you guys start off with the podcast that you guys literally have all around the world, and that's really like even for my website too. I don't know. I mean, I only met one of them in real life, but I mean it's all people around the world, and that's what it is. It's like you're able to connect with social media now with people that care about the same care the same way about games that you do, and it's amazing. And that's what I think. And I know she gives me crap, it's like, well, you don't really know them, but it's like I feel like I do, and I think that's what makes it amazing, is that you feel like you really get to know these people, and it's awesome. It's
Shout out to Melanie again, because she agreed to be our programming assistant, because she always has some real thought-provoking things to put on Facebook threads to spark conversations. And she was just talking about that, how what do you think about the communication that we have now with technology and things? Is it good or bad? And related to that directly about what we're talking about is, do you actually know these people? And again, I didn't know any of these guys. I'm around Chris, Brian, and Matt not too long ago, and now we're just like clicking, we're chatting all the time throughout the week about games. And I think it enhances the hobby like so much to a degree I didn't even know. We were doing live chat through E3 about everything that's coming up, and it was just great to be able to share your thoughts in real time with people, and basically just share that is amazing. And I think I do know people online that we've met through the group, through the podcast. It's all, I think, a really great thing, really positive.
Yeah, it's a different age nowadays, where if you think in the beginning, like when you were younger, it's like you only could meet friends one way, like maybe in your neighborhood or at school or whatnot. But I feel like with everything now, it's like you can find people and friends that are just, maybe they don't live next to you, but I feel like that's not, the way things have to be. So
yeah, I have a lot of people that I play online with too, that especially with I played the NHL games, NHL 15, NHL 14, and then Madden too. And I join leagues and stuff like that. And I do feel like there are people, especially with NHL, shout out to Billy the Squid, Mike Carney, who and Dominic Drolet, who's the French dude on the Facebook group that everyone got confused by. And those guys, I've been playing with them for 3, 4, 5 years. and yeah, you get to know people just online.
Yeah, and those are like your real friends. You know, when you play that long, you really get to know them. I mean,
Any game from E3 that you're looking forward to getting the platinum on?
okay, I mean, like I said, I'm an RPG junkie, so once they did that Final Fantasy VII remake, like I was literally geeking out. Like when I saw that, the only part of me is, man, I just really hope they don't screw that up. Like I really don't. But I mean, I'm really like geeking hard on that Final Fantasy VII remake. When I saw that, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I was like, I cannot believe what we've been hoping for like 15 years or whatever, like is actually going to happen. I mean, it's I still don't even think it's real. Like I'm trying not to believe it's real, just so it doesn't. That new Syndicate for Assassin's Creed, that looked really sweet. And Hitman, I cannot wait to play another Hitman game. Like I really was looking forward to that game too as well. Why? What games did jump out to you guys when you guys saw the E3?
Well, I'm kind of an indie game guy, so I definitely hopped on No Man's Sky real early, and something that jumped out at me specifically this E3 was Cuphead, because of the way it kind of emulates the early 20s and 30s Disney animation really well. But other than that, like AAA wise, I thought Horizon was something special. Just Cause 3 is the right kind of chaos. And Fallout 4, we can't really overlook that at all.
I can't believe I didn't even mention that. Yeah, and I think the best thing with Fallout is that, you know, it always had all those glitches on the PS3 where it would crash and freeze up, and everyone would always have those problems. So I really hope with this better system on the PS4 that it'll actually be the truly great game that it really is. So.
Well, Bethesda always has those problems too, and I feel like every time they release a game, like the first month, they just find like tons and tons of bugs with it, but after those are fixed up, the games are almost always incredible. So
that's a great thing nowadays too, with being connected online and getting those patches. I mean, it's great that, you know, it's like all these times like you played games in the past and you're like, oh man, this glitch sucks, but it's like, oh hey, glitch sucks, but they're patching it. Awesome.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. Yeah.
Or oh no, this glitch is awesome. Why are they patching it?
Oh yeah, I know. That's
exactly.
The
one in
moments like that too.
Yeah, they did that with Resogun, and luckily I did it before they patched it. But there was this game where I don't know if any of you guys played it, but you had to, it was one of the free games. Yeah,
I need to finish that. You want to help me platinum it?
Is it that co-op trophy or?
Yeah. I think I have like 33% completion on it. I just keep.
You need to beat the game co-op without dying.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just like ridiculous. But there was this glitch before that if you died at any point in the world, you could just restart that whole world over again, and they patched it out. So I was like, they patched one out pretty fast. Luckily I got it beforehand, but I feel sorry for anyone that didn't do that way, because that's really gonna just turn it into a nightmare, beating the whole game without dying. So
that's why you're elite and I'm not.
But you know what's really cool though too is that with my wife not playing video games, like one of the things that used to always hold me back was co-op, because I wouldn't have a co-op partner to always play with. But that share play feature on the PS4 is awesome, that, you know, me and you could play locally on a PS4 now, which is awesome. Like that's the coolest thing ever.
You will be getting a friend request from me then.
Hey, definitely. I that's one of those games like I really don't mind after getting 100% playing. Like that Resogun is awesome.
So what's your favorite game of all time? Are you one of those Final Fantasy VII weirdos?
Okay, so
weirdos.
You are not
like
going
a
to
huge
hate on the best
demographic that you
RPG
just
of
got.
all time. Seriously.
See, I think people. It's one of like my top 3 favorite games of all time. Yes, it's awesome, okay. And you know what it is? It's everything that happened. Like, you know, like going from Final Fantasy 6 to 7. You know, like the 2D to 3D. Like all the extra stuff they put in there, like Nintendo going to Sony. It's like I feel like all of that is just like couples in of why, you know, Final Fantasy VII is so great. I mean, there's just, but I think one of my favorite series of all time is actually I don't know if any of you guys ever played them, but the Dragon Warrior Dragon Quest series. I've always enjoyed those. Yeah, those are my favorite. And Suikoden. And I think that's usually not many people play those, but but Dragon Warrior Dragon Quest is some of my favorite series. I love those games. Yeah, those are really, really good games.
I'm really angry that the Dragon Quest games, you can play them on your stupid iPhone, but there's no port for Vita.
There isn't?
There isn't.
No, there's not.
Oh, that's
There's
horrible.
like you can like search on the freaking iPhone. There's on Dragon Quest, but it's on iPhone.
Well, I feel like the Vita just gets shafted all the time now. Like, how much did they mention it even in the Sony press conference? I think they literally had like a 5-second snapshot of it. It's like, the Vita's doing great, guys, and they don't talk about it at all.
So
Yeah,
great
they-
that nah.
Well, that's what it is. It just feels like they're neglecting it, you know. And I know it's hard to compete with Nintendo because I mean they're the best They're probably always going to be the best handheld video game out there. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I feel like sometimes it just feels like they neglect the Vita. I mean, I don't even remember, you know, how many games I really honestly play on the Vita. I mean, it seems like we never really get those great, nice titles out.
Everybody talks about Persona 4 Golden being like the cream of the crop in terms of Vita, and Uncharted Golden Abyss, or like I really liked Gravity Rush. I thought that was great. I actually really liked the Muramasa port that was on Vita. I thought that was fantastic. But yeah, Vita really does get shafted.
Yeah, I mean, it really, really gets the shaft. I mean, it's horrible. And the worst part too is that, you know, with a PS3 and PS4, you could always sign in with. I don't know if you guys do that, but you can have created accounts from like Europe, you know, United States, Japan, so you can play the games. But the Vita, you only can have one account on it, so you're stuck with So you're stuck with what you got from, you know, your area, which is horrible. I don't know why they decided to do that with that system and not the rest of them.
I do the same because there's sometimes sales in UK, and it's awesome, and there's sometimes sales in US. I do that all the time.
Yeah, I got screwed one time because I forgot what game it was. I want to say it was it Killzone or something like that. One of the games had an online pass to it, and I guess I didn't realize it, but the game wasn't from the United States. So I wasn't able to redeem the online pass since it was from like Europe or something like that. So I ended up wasting my money. It was horrible, but yeah, you know, it happens.
So, Mike, are you envious of any other platforms out there? I know there's a few exclusives coming out on the Xbox, and you being a PlayStation guy, you've probably never played Halo. Then is that right?
That's
like,
correct.
That's a big deal. Like Halo's one of the best games, best franchise games I've ever played. I'd say I'm more of a Sony guy, PlayStation guy myself, but Halo is top, and like Gears of War as well. So do you ever feel like you might want to switch over, or even like dabble in the dark side? Like, is that ever...
No, and you know what it is if I really cared about shooting games, I would have definitely played it by then. But role-playing games are my favorite kind of games.
Yeah.
So, and I still feel like Sony has the best that it has to offer. Although I am envious about the Xbox because whenever there seems to be, like when we have an Xbox release and a Sony, when they get that exclusive rights in the beginning, somehow like their users get to play the game before us. And I mean, that always kind of sucks that it's like, man, I really want to play that, you know, new DLC to Grand Theft Auto. Oh no, wait, you know, Microsoft paid for the exclusive rights for 6 months or some stupid like that, or yeah, that always sucks.
I have a question. Some games I actually wait before I play them because I wait for a guide. Because I don't like to replay a game for missable trophies. Do you do that sometimes?
Sometimes. It depends if, you know, I think on most games I probably do that. Because that's what it is that you don't want to find out that you just played a game and you're like, oh man, I should have played it this way and now I got to do the whole game all over again. But when some games really come out that I really want to play, then I just won't wait. You know, you just go for it. I mean, it's sometimes it'll bite you, sometimes it won't. So
yeah, because in The Witcher 3, there are missable trophies, and The Witcher 3 is such a long game. It's like I don't think I will play that game twice.
yeah, I'm really glad that one of my favorite games for the PS3, which actually shocked me because I'm a huge fan of South Park. I love the TV show. So when they came out with the video game, I was a little nervous with all those setbacks they were having. But that game was it was so much greater than what I thought it was going to be. And I'm really glad I didn't play that game out on release because it has so many missable trophies in it. It's just ridiculous. I mean, so I'm really glad that I did wait to play that game, and I almost didn't. So at least it worked out for that game. I don't know if any of you guys played South Park, but I mean,
I did.
I do. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few games that I didn't mind missable trophies because I played through it like 5 times to get everything. So
yeah, dude, I cracked up so hard when you go to Canada for the first time and it looks like and it looks like you're playing the Nintendo. Like, that was hilarious. Like, because if you watch the show, like, you totally understand what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like, it was
The entire game is pretty much the show. I mean, you could just take literal parts of the game and then just edit it together and probably make a show out of it.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
that
I know.
good.
I mean, they could probably you could probably make a movie, like, you know what I mean, like, out of what they did. Yeah, it was just, I mean, you just sit there and you're like, oh my god, it's like, I cannot believe they just did that.
I just want to say I'm glad the Underpants Gnomes made the cameo that they made, because
Everything made a
it
cameo.
was-
Every
it
single
was-
thing from the show is great.
it was beautiful.
I'm
It
glad
was
that
beautiful.
I'm glad that Randy Marsh had a big piece. He's like one of my favorite characters on the show, so I'm really glad that he was prominent in the game with getting like anal probes. And,
God, yeah.
I mean, that's, it's like, I always love when he's involved because something good is going down when Randy Marsh is there. So
Yeah. Speaking of E3, I'm so happy they announced a sequel.
yeah, I mean, I was really excited too. I mean, that first game, like I said, was so good. So I'm wondering if, because they have the engine built, that maybe this will go a lot smoother this time. But I thought there was supposed to be DLC to the game that was already out, and I don't know. I thought I remember hearing that. I don't know if you guys ever heard that.
I think the want for DLC was so strong that we kind of because I was always looking for it too, because I just assumed that it was
Seems like a
going to
game that
happen.
would be perfect for to just add on more stuff as they go, because it doesn't seem like you already have like textures and everything you need down. They just need to add actual content for it.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do that, and I was so disappointed when that game didn't come out for the PS4 too as well. I was really kind of hoping it would come out for both systems, because a lot of the times a game comes out on the PS3 and the PS4, it has 2 trophy lists. So that is one game I would have gladly played another time to get those trophies again.
Me too.
I just sit here in awe. I still can't believe it. Like, second in the world. Oh, I'll stop.
I'm still thinking 852. I
Yeah,
don't
I was
even know
gonna
what
say
that
same
number
thing.
means.
You know,
Seriously.
I'm actually, I'll be honest, sometimes I'm in shock too as well, only for the fact that I honestly can't believe that. I mean, look, I know I put in like I said, around like 4 hours a day, but you're telling me there's not someone out there that's not putting in like 20? Like, I mean, that's what, I don't know, that's what sometimes I guess I'm a little confused at. I don't understand it either. I don't, I think shouldn't there be someone that plays like?
I feel there should
It's
be
just
more
you,
people
man.
that are that day.
Well, but then again, we're in the age of like the endless game now, so they might be playing 20 hours a day of Minecraft,
That's true.
Yeah,
They might
yeah.
be
or-
stuck on something.
or they're huge into W or WoW or any MMO
yeah.
out there. I mean, I know people on Eve online, they basically don't play anything else. They can't.
Yeah, this
A lot of kids, they do that with Minecraft. And I know there are kids that literally the only game they play is Minecraft. The only
That's
game they
it.
know is Minecraft.
There's this guy on the website that is on our website that's totally obsessed with Minecraft, and
I love
he
it too.
Dude, he is so good. Like, he created a game that helps everybody get the trophies really fast, and he can get anybody the platinum within like 3 or 4 hours or something like that, because he set up his world like in stations, being like, here you go to get this trophy, here you go to get this trophy. And like, I don't know how long it took to build this, but like literally, like, he'll take you through the stations to get the platinum, and it's like, I mean, it's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like,
That is wicked.
it's
I'm
yeah.
glad I heard about your website, because I'm just gonna jump in and I'm
Oh,
gonna back to
man.
this guy. And
I'm gonna sign up for your Minecraft world.
I am actually have the game, but it takes so much time to get the trophies. And if I can just jump in his world and get the trophies really fast, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that's done that for Terraria? Because I really need to finish that.
What is that game about? Because I wanted to start playing it, because I always hear it and it looks like a good indie
2D
game, right?
Minecraft.
It's
Yeah,
2D Minecraft. It's 2D Minecraft with more of
It's kind of like a
There-
little
there-
more of an adventure feel, right? It's like more fantasy elements and like
yeah, and you pick up items and they sort of lead you in ways like, honestly, it's probably if did you play the Souls games? It's probably like if Minecraft Minecraft went 2D and brought in like Dark Souls aesthetics in a way. Because all the items sort of say, oh well, this this can be combined with this, or it leads you down a progression, and then you end up creating items that summon bosses.
Yeah.
And I think it's way like I've played Minecraft for maybe 10 minutes and I just got bored. But I might actually be playing it for another 3 to 4 hours so I can get a platinum trophy now.
God, it's so funny that you bring up Dark Souls when we were talking about games glitches and games getting easier. And I played Dark Souls or Demon Souls when it first came out, and you had to play that game like what was it, like 4 playthroughs?
Yep.
Like to get all of them. And then they came out with that stupid glitch that somehow you could all get it done in one playthrough. And I remember so off that
Someone
like,
figured out how to duplicate
yeah,
items.
I was like, dude, I spent 4 playthroughs playing this game, and you're telling me that you could do it in one? Like, I was like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
I just duplicate my saves on the USB.
Yeah, like it's once they came out with those duplication glitches, it's like, man, those bastards. I was like, where were they when I was playing the game?
Mike, you also write guides as well, don't you? Like
yeah, I think I've written.
How do you have time to do that as well? Like, what is? I give up.
Well, sometimes I end up writing them as most of the time I have to write them as I'm playing the games.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
I mean, sometimes when I have a really, really good memory, so sometimes I'm writing the guides at work. When I get some free time. Yeah. So it's, but I think I've written about 55 or 60. But I think most of my trophy guides are the Japanese visual novels. And I don't know if any of you guys, only like really, really hardcore gamers play that, because I don't know if any of you guys have seen that before, but really what it is, it's just like a Japanese book, like a novel, and you have to pick choices and stuff like that. And that's what's most prominent on our sites, because obviously most people don't understand anything that's being said. And, we try to write trophy guides that pretty much take your hand and walk you to the platinum. So, and that's what we try to do the best at the site. So I love writing those guides for those games, because they're challenging, like, because obviously did the language, so it's really cool.
Going back to time, like one more time, like you had mentioned that you kind of like the fact that you have like a separation between, the gaming and like everything else that you do. Like your wife doesn't know much about it. If you had more time to game, would you game? Like, would you do even more than what you're doing now if you didn't have to sleep and stuff like that? Eat?
If I didn't have to eat.
If you didn't have to have any humanly functions, would you play video games more?
You know what it is? I think in the past, I would have. I don't think... I would definitely game a little bit more if I could, but... like I'm on vacation from work this week because I have so many vacation hours, so I just thought I'd take a week off, and I won't game the whole time just because, I don't know, I just get bored. Like, I just want to watch TV or just go out and do something. I mean, I don't know. I used to be able to, like, when I was like 20, 22, 24, like I could game all day, but now I don't know. My mind gets sidetracked a lot, so I don't play as much.
If if trophies basically for you were gone tomorrow, would your life be over? Like, would you melt down and like die, or what's up?
I think that's what would happen, right? I mean, that's what happens to people. No, I was, this kid brought this up to me 6 months ago or something like that, and he was like, yeah, what would ever happen to you if trophies ever disappeared? I was a gamer before trophies ever came out, and I will be a gamer after trophies fade away. I will always be playing games regardless of whether there's trophies or not.
Amen.
Mike, I can't tell you how exciting that has been. We want you to stick with us for the next segments, please, because you're just super interesting, and we respect you so much for dedicating your life to this amazing hobby that we all share. Seriously,
your whole life.
Yeah, we would love to talk with you in the next segment.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, I don't mind sticking around. So. Hey, I just.
What I was going to ask you.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Started recording. I just started, but I didn't start. I didn't hit the recording button.
When?
Ooh.
This whole time?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude,
you
I'm
got
so
the Skype, isn't it?
Yeah, but